Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Nearway Podcast with your host ValentyneSole. How are y'all? I feel like I haven't recorded a video in I feel like I haven't recorded a video in 2 weeks. So just being back here, it's like I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I've been feeling very spiritually dry ever since 75 Holy ended. And I know that I talked to y'all a lot about 75 Holy, right? And it was amazing. 75 Holy was truly amazing, but I feel like now it just feels like something is missing. And I need to continue to pray and talk to God about that to just understand what is expected, or not even expected, but what's next, because I feel like something is missing. I feel like I've just been so drained spiritually, physically. I'm so tired. I have a headache right now, y'all. I don't know, am I being attacked? That's what it's feeling like. But today I did just want to talk to y'all about persistence. And so I am in a Bible study group. It's a women's Bible study group, and I really recommend this book, because Jesus and Women is it's a really good Bible study. It's a 7-session Bible study, and it comes with videos to basically the author of the book kind of gives sermons about it or whatever. But it's just super super duper great, and I feel like ever since I started this women's Bible study group, I really feel like I have been I don't know, my goal for the Bible study was always to get closer to God and actually see how God views women. What is his take on women? How does he feel about women? Because I even said this last night during our session, is that when I was growing up, usually how you're parented, how you view your parents is oftentimes how you view God, right? And that's for male or female. But I feel like for me specifically, I always felt like my prayers didn't matter, or first of all, I always felt like my feelings or what I had to say or my thoughts, they didn't matter. So I feel like sometimes I'll do the same thing to God. I would view God in that same way, oh, this is a silly prayer, that's silly, why am I even, it's other stuff, it's more important stuff to think about, to pray about. And so I just wanted to share this session with y'all because it really touched me a lot. And so yeah, y'all can see the different setup. Yeah, my tripod also broke. So your girl has been going through a lot. Okay. My tripod has also broke. So yeah, so we're just trying this new setup, and I actually kind of like it because I have a table, and even though I don't want to hold this, I'll probably try to get a mic stand for just this side. But I mean, I'm vibing with it. It's pretty cool. I actually like this setup. So yeah, y'all. As y'all know, I also just had a birthday, and that was super duper fun. And I just wanted to give y'all an update about that because I really feel like last year on my birthday, and y'all can see this TikTok that I made on my TikTok is what is my TikTok? Is it just ValentyneSole? I think it's just ValentyneSole. But yeah, I made a video on my TikTok where I was basically showing how I celebrated my birthday last year and how I celebrated it this year. Last year, it was crazy. Last year I was lukewarm, and I would always leave my birthday, no matter what I did. Even last year, I went to Six Flags. My friend from home, she traveled up to my school so that we could all go to Six Flags together. We went to Six Flags. Then, even before that, they threw me a surprise party, and I had always wanted a surprise party, right? I'm so grateful for them, and I love them. The thing is, though, even after that, I still felt unfulfilled. I'm there should be more. I'm missing something. I still feel like I need to do this, or I still feel like I need to do this. It wouldn't matter how drunk I got. It wouldn't matter how high I got. It wouldn't matter who I slept with that night. It's literally just it still felt like I should have done more for my birthday. But literally this year and last year, y'all, during the surprise party, you'll see on my TikTok, I was literally taking shots. I was driving the boat, as we used to say. I was literally driving the boat with 3 different liquors at one time. It's crazy just how the Lord will transform you and how he transformed me. And I'm just so grateful because this year I had a small little dinner with my friends up here. I got really cute. I took pictures, which y'all can see on my Instagram, which is ValentyneSole off. It's for official, but who was going to spell all that out? My name already long, not doing it. So yeah, my Instagram is ValentyneSole off, and I posted pictures on my birthday, and on my actual birthday was a Sunday, and I was actually scheduled to serve at church, which was so great, and I really enjoyed that as well. So, yeah, y'all, I just wanted to like add a little bit of that to my testimony, the fact that the Lord literally can turn your whole life around, and it's just so amazing, and it's so crazy, and it's so great. But like I told y'all, like I've been feeling like kind of in a spiritual drought. And I wanted to talk about persistence today because that's what we talked about last night at Bible study, and it really hit home. Like I was literally on camera trying not to cry. Like, so hopefully I don't cry today. But literally, y'all, it was just so great. So I first wanted to give the definition of persistence, or like persistent or persistence, because it's something that I like. It's like we know what it means, but I just wanted to give a general definition. So persistent means continuing firmly or obstinately in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. The second definition is continuing to exist or endure over a prolonged period. And I actually like the second one better because that is kind of how, like, that's kind of what correlates with our story. Well, with Jesus's story, the parable that we're going to cover today. And so the parable that we're going to cover today is I'm going out of Luke chapter 18, is verses 1 through 8. And so we're just going to do how we always do. I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to go line by line. And yeah, I just want to share like how this story touched me. And then I hope that anybody here will be encouraged, like, cause yeah. So this is called the parable of the persistent widow. Y'all know that I'm reading from the CSB version. I have my She Reads Truth Bible. And so, yeah, so Luke 18, verse 1, Jesus says, well, now he told them a parable on the need for them to pray always and not give up. There was a judge in a certain town who didn't fear God or respect people, and a widow in that town kept coming to him saying, "Give me justice against my adversary." For a while he was unwilling, but for a while he was unwilling, but later he said to himself, "Even though I don't fear God or respect people, yet because this widow keeps persisting me, I will give her justice so that she doesn't wear me out by her persistent coming." Then the Lord said, "Listen to what the unjust judge says. Will not God grant justice to his elect who cry out to him day and night? Will he delay helping them? I tell you that he will swiftly grant them justice. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?" So that little story there, well, let me not even say little, that story there, like, it's already like about, like, I don't know. So I just want to go like line by line, little by little. There was a judge. So we're going to start off with the judge. So there's a judge and a widow. There's two people. There's a judge and a widow. So the judge did not fear God or respect people. Now, when we were going through this in Bible study, our group leader said something like, imagine, like, who would want to be under the jurisdiction of someone who does not fear God? Like, as a Christian, I'm like, oh, you don't fear God? Okay, so who's leading you? Like, who's guiding you? And something that she pointed out is that they're being led by their pride. They're being led by their selfishness. And so another thing, she said they didn't fear God or respect people. They didn't care what anybody thought about them. And so something that she pointed out was that he was powerful with a bad heart. It's one thing to be powerful, but it's another thing to be powerful with a bad heart. Like, the man can do anything. He can literally do anything that he wants because he has all the power, but he has a bad heart, right? So it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like I would be terrified to be persistently coming and talking to him, right? But not this widow. So I also wanted to point out the whole point of this Bible study talking is called Jesus and Women. And so we're looking at it, we're looking at how Jesus viewed women through a Middle Eastern lens and through the first century lens. So back then in the Middle East, where Jesus was, he was doing his teaching, women didn't have honor. They didn't have honor. There was a man between I believe the last book before Matthew is Malachi, I believe. Let me see. Matthew. So basically the last book before we start with the Gospels. So before Jesus steps into the scene, we have Malachi, right? And between Malachi and Matthew, that time period, it's 400 years that has passed by. And mind you, women don't. And so there's a man named Ben Sira who goes around and starts spreading all these terrible things about women. And so women began to lose their honor and they became to like just be clouded and covered in shame. Like a woman's identity was nothing outside of the man that she was married to, was nothing outside of her father, was nothing outside of her brother. Women couldn't even testify in court. And so um just the fact that the widow is coming to talk to the judge means, for one, means that she had no man to represent her, because like I just said, women weren't allowed to testify in court. So being that she had no one to come represent her, she still went, knowing that women were shameful. Ben Sira went around basically spreading that women are the reason that sin entered the world. Women are terrible. These women are liars. They're deceitful. Like they were saying all these things. Like he literally said, don't trust a woman with, it was something, don't trust a woman with something. But he literally said, don't trust your wife. That's literally what Ben Sira was spreading. Don't trust your wife. And just totally going against God's word. Let's start there. But anyway, so yeah, so this widow had so much like the audacity. She had so much courage to still go and to come to this judge, mind you, who does not fear God and does not respect people. That she could have possibly died. She could have possibly died. She was already seen to be probably unclean because she didn't have anybody. She was already not respected because she didn't have a man to represent her. She had no man tied to her in order for her to have any type of authority or any type of respect or anything. So the fact that she even had the courage to go to this judge who doesn't fear God and doesn't respect people, like, kudos to you, sir. But anyway, so verse 3 says, and a widow in that town kept coming to him saying, give me justice against my adversary. So clearly she's been offended. Something has happened to her. She has something that I wrote in my Bible. She has no one to cover her. Like she's a widow, so she has no husband. So like when you're getting married, like your husband is you're meant to cover each other. And when I say cover each other, like cover each other in prayer. Like as a single woman, I don't have a man. Like, of course, I have like spiritual leaders and I have like my friends, but I don't have a man, my helpmate, the one that God sent for us to be on assignment for each other with each other. I don't have him covering me. I don't have a man to cover me, like as my husband. So she has no one to cover her. She doesn't even have like the fact, like I said, the fact that she's even coming to the judge on her own accord means she doesn't have a father, she doesn't have a brother, she doesn't have a son. Like she's coming at her own accord. So she has no one to cover her, but she does have opposition. She has someone who has probably offended her or done something to her, which is why she says to him, give me justice against my adversary. And so I wanted to go in on justice too, because something else that we learned from the Bible study, that we learned from this book, is that justice back then was bringing someone from shame back up to honor. There was like darn it, let me see if I can find it. It's like it kind of looked like a compass to me, not gonna lie, but it was basically saying like you have shame at the bottom and honor at the top. But that is like a Middle Eastern's view of justice. But I believe, or either justice or morality. But literally in the Middle Eastern time, well, in the Middle Eastern times, in the Middle East during this time, and possibly even still now, all you had was shame or honor. You were clean or unclean, and that's just what it was. Here it is. So you have the Middle Eastern perspective where you have shame at the bottom and honor at the top, and then you have our scale of injustice or whatever it is. You have our scale, so the West, where you have guilt versus innocence. So you have right versus wrong. Whether in the Middle East, rather in the Middle East, you have shame versus honor, and we have right versus wrong. So honor, so you were bringing someone from shame to honor when you spoke about getting justice. And so that's what she was looking for, especially because many women, all they had was shame. And something else that we're learning throughout this Bible study is that there's a lot of times where Jesus is interacting with these women, and they're bringing them from shame to honor. He's bringing them justice. And so after this, it says that the judge for a while was unwilling, but later he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or respect people, yet because this widow keeps persisting me, I will give her justice so that she doesn't wear me out by her persistence. Another version says, so that she doesn't come back and attack me or something like that. So you have to imagine how much zeal this woman had to come, how much faith this woman had to come to the judge in prayer. And everybody knows, well, not everybody, let me not say that, but most of us know that when Jesus is giving a parable, he's not only is he showing heart posture, but he's also proving a point, and he also has a role in all of that. So guess who the judge was? God, right? God, Jesus is the judge, and then us, woman or man, us, we are the persistent person. He gave 2 parables even before this, talking about being persistent in prayer, where he continuously tells us to knock, to seek, ask, and knock, and continuously do that until you have sought, until your request has been covered. Keep knocking until the door is open, right? But here he uses a woman specifically, and I'm not trying to keep bringing y'all into the Jesus and women Bible study, but I just think that's very significant that he used a woman in this example, being that women were so looked down upon, right? Cool. But for this, he then turns it and says, listen to what the unjust judge does. Will not God grant justice to his elect who cry out to him day and night? So this reminds me of when Jesus gives the example of a worldly father giving, or a wicked father, or it was like a wicked king or a wicked father or something like that, giving their kid a gift or something like that, giving their kid something. And he basically said, if a worldly father would do that, how much more would your father, like the Father in heaven, do that for you? And that's what this just reminds me of. So it makes me think about, like, literally the woman kept persisting, and her request ended up being granted. And so Jesus is saying, will not God grant justice to his elect who cry out to him day and night? Will not God do the same thing that this man who does not fear God and does not respect people, he has no godly morals. He has no morals. The man has no morals. So if a man who has no morals will grant justice, how much more will God grant justice to you? Will he delay in helping them? I tell you that he will swiftly grant them justice. So this is an example that the Lord wants us, like it says, even in verse 1, where it says, he told them a parable on the need for them to pray always and not give up. So even like I said earlier, I will often feel like sometimes, like, one thing, and I'm just going to be 100% vulnerable. I feel like this is such a hush hush, hands off, we don't want to talk about that kind of topic, but it's just so weird to me that it's like that. And I feel like that's probably like a ploy of the enemy or something, because literally, why do we not talk about this? Why is it not expounded upon more often, or more comfortably talked about in social spaces, when literally almost everyone wants it? And I'm talking about marriage. Like, I was gonna bring it up on the Bible study call, but then there was another thing. I'm like, okay, maybe, maybe not. But it's like, I don't understand why I feel like marriage isn't really talked about a lot in the Christian spaces, like as a casual conversation. Like, I know my friends, like, they ask a lot of questions, especially the guys. It's mainly the guys. They ask a lot of questions, kind of like, oh, do you feel like you're ready for a relationship? Or do you ever want to get married? Or when's the last time you dated somebody? And like, I low key appreciate those questions, even though like in the moment it still feels awkward, but it's like, why is that, bro? Like, why is that? I feel like the topic should be talked about so much more, because honestly, if I don't say anything about marriage, how would the man that God is going to send me one day would even know that I'm open to it? And it's like, of course he's going to be spirit led, but at the same time, like, there are still things that go into play in, like, in everyday life. There are still things that come into play in everyday life. Like, I hope that makes sense, but it's just so crazy to me how that's how how people shy away from the topic. But my point is, I've been praying about my husband, and I've been praying about marriage, and I've been very expectant and very excited about marriage. But a part of me is always like trying not to pray about it. If I'm being honest, like a part of me always doesn't want to pray about it because I feel like that's silly. Like, girl, you have so much more important things to pray about. But what else? Like, how could how could it be silly and not important for the person that God is going to send you and that you're going to be spending the rest of your earthly life with? How is that silly? How is that silly? It's just crazy, y'all. But I honestly do want to like advocate, please talk to people. I still haven't done it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, bro, please talk to people, cuz why are we not asking for advice, or why are we cautious about praying or saying these things out loud? Like, "Oh yeah, I'm praying for my husband." That's like that's great, right? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I just don't see it enough. But like I do really feel like, and y'all let me know in the comments if like it's just me. Like let me know in the comments if it's just me that's not seeing, like, or that feels like it has to be a hush hush topic, because I honestly feel like anybody who's talking about a waiting season, I feel like most of the time I hear like married couples who are waiting on a baby, or I hear like people waiting for like a new job or things like that, but rarely do people ever bring up marriage. And I feel like most waiting season sermons are about single people waiting for marriage, but I feel like in more common social spaces, like it's rarely talked about. I really hope I'm making sense. But anywho, back to the topic. I I would often feel like, okay, this is silly. Like, why am I praying about this? And mind y'all, for the longest time, I was battling in my head, like, I need to make sure that I'm not making marriage an idol. I need to make sure that the Lord is still on the throne of my heart. Like, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be content and peaceful in my singleness. I'm gonna be this, that, and a third. So it's like I would shy away from praying about marriage because I didn't want to feel like I was making it an idol. But at the same time, if you never pray about it, how could you expect how could you expect if you're not praying about it, then I just feel like that's not you being expected. Because even though the Lord has this love letter for us, the book full of promises, even though he has all these promises for us, he still wants us to pray in expectancy. We still have to be expecting for it. How else are we going to show our faith? That's why he says at the end of verse 8, nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? Will he find faith on earth? And I was kind of confused at first when I first read it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, this has nothing to do with the rest of the story. But his point was that this woman was so persistent. She had faith to continuously pray and continuously pray. Well, in this instance, she had faith to continuously go to the judge and ask, to continuously go to the judge and ask, asking every single day, right? But what are some, and this was a question that was asked at the Bible study, what is a prayer that you have given up on because you just feel like it's been a long time, it hasn't been answered yet? What is a prayer that you have given up on praying? And I feel like most answers was, yeah, I just haven't seen this fulfilled. So I just ended up stop praying about it. I just figured God said no. And I just like, you haven't heard God say no, but you just feel like the answer gonna be no, or you just feel like it hasn't happened yet, so it can't be, you know? But I was hearing a lot of answers like that, but mine in particular was about like, oh, that's silly. Like, you have more important stuff to pray about. But I just want y'all to know, if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling how I'm feeling, that the Lord cares about you. He cares about everything. He cares about what you want. And as long as you have godly desires, as long as you pursue the desires that he's placed in your heart, he wants you to have them. He wants you to have them. Like marriage, praying about marriage, even though I'm only 23 years old, which is actually almost kind of crazy to say, because it's like I know people who got married younger than me, right? But it's like, even though I'm so young, it's like it feels silly because, like, girl, first of all, you know, like, you're young in the faith and you're just getting your life started and this, that, and the third. But there's a desire in my heart to share my life with somebody, to do life together with somebody on earth. I literally prayed like the other day. I'm like, Lord, please allow me to experience your love on earth. Like I know I'm able to experience his love. Like, of course, like when I'm praying and when I'm fasting or when I'm in quiet time with him. But this we really about to get vulnerable now. But like I really feel like there's nobody on earth who genuinely understands me. Like I feel like there are certain things that I'll say, whether it's a joke, whether it's like me trying to express myself, whether it's anything. I'm like, bro, literally nobody gets it. Like I feel like I always, not always, but like most of the time with some things I say, I'm like, why do I have to explain myself? Like this is so tiring. Like Lord, please, like so. Like it's something that I desire. Like I desire to do life with somebody here on earth. So. And in the Bible, God talks about man and woman joining together, becoming one flesh. So I know that that's in God's will. And if I have those desires, that's a godly desire. So because it aligns with his word. So I'm knowing like this is something that the Lord wants for me. If I want it, the Lord wants it for me. Right now, I'm saying that because it's a godly desire. Look, I ain't telling you that I'm not telling you like male or female, like you see somebody, I don't know, you see somebody worldly and you like them and you feel like God is leading you. No, that's not what I'm saying. I have a godly desire of marriage, just like I have a godly desire of serving the kingdom full time. I know that the Lord is going to fulfill that, but it's something in me. I guess it's flesh. It's something that causes me to be like, no, I shouldn't pray. I shouldn't pray about that. Like I have better stuff to pray. I have more important things to pray about. Like I should pray about something else. Like I should pray about this process that I'm about to go to. I should pray about school. I should pray about church. Like things like that. But it's really like if you're not praying persistently about something, how are you showing your faith towards God? He tells us to ask, seek, and knock until it is fulfilled. And ask, seeking, and knocking is a part of having that faith. Faith without works is dead. How will you know if you have faith if you're not putting it to use? So yeah, that really spoke to me because I'm like, the Lord literally knows how many strands of hair are on our head. His thoughts about us are literally as more as much and more than the grains of sand on this earth. He cares about us. So he cares about our wants. He cares about our prayers. He has our prayers. There's a verse in Psalms. I forgot which Psalms it was, but it was talking about the Lord. He keeps all of our tears. He keeps track of all of our tears. He values them, and that's why back in the day, that's why during this time they would have things like a woman would have things called a tear jar, and so like every time you're crying, you put it in a tear jar, and it's representative of how the Lord keeps our tears. He cherishes our tears. He keeps our sorrows. He keeps track of our sorrows. The Lord cares about the good and the bad. We can come to him about the good and the bad. So that is why I just wanted to talk to y'all about persistence today, because literally, like, imagine like and it could also grow our faith because you consistently pray about something, just like when those prayers are fulfilled, no matter how long they take, because at the end of the day, we are on the Lord's timing. He can take his time, but guess what? He will fulfill those prayers. But if you have a lack of faith, imagine he comes before he does fulfill that prayer, or like, will he find the faith on earth? Will he find that faith on earth? So that's just what I wanted to leave y'all with, because that was something that really spoke to me. I really feel like I have stopped praying about certain things when in reality, we need to keep praying about those things. Like the enemy doesn't want you to pray anyway. Like the enemy does not want you to pray. And even well, not sorry, that's what you're here for. But another thing that I wanted to talk about is like how I said I feel like I'm in a spiritual dryness right now. I feel like a lot of times when I go through this, I stay consistent in what I usually do, like trying to read my word every day and praying morning and night. But even when I do pray, I don't present how I'm feeling to the Lord. Like I'm overly tired. I'm exhausted. I don't feel like praying right now. I don't feel like reading my word. But giving these things to the Lord, that's why I said he wants the good and the bad. So giving these things to the Lord is really it just really shows your faith even more, that you know that he keeps track of your sorrows and that he is your joy. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And so Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out also, that he literally cares about all of your prayers. Every time we pray, it's like sweet incense to him. So I just wanted to leave y'all with that. And so the confession for today is, Lord, increase my faith, illuminate prayers that I have lost, and fill me with your joy. So God, increase my faith, illuminate prayers that I have lost, and fill me with your joy. And that's the confession today. I really hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. I will see y'all in the next episode. I love y'all and Jesus loves y'all more. Bye, y'all.